pinned up a little black blanket, and my camera is on a tripod, umbrella light, almost at a 45-degree angle. I'm going to put my camera on a timer for about 5 seconds, and I'm just going to stare directly into the camera, and I'm going to lean my head back against this wall so my head doesn't move during the 2 shots. I'm going to take one picture of just my face and then another picture of my hands over my face. First off, I'm just going to make both of them black and white. Image adjustments, desaturate. Now you can use image adjustments black and white if you wanted to, but in this circumstance I'm not even going to bother with that. I'm going to actually unlock this layer, just drag that little lock icon down to the bottom trash can and just drag it up, because I kind of want that layer in front. It kind of just makes more sense to me. Next, I'm going to go through my blending modes here and just pick one. Overlay or multiply are the ones that I usually pick, but not always. Overlay is probably what we're going to pick. I'm going to go to auto contrast on both of these layers, because that kind of levels everything out and makes things look good. And now I can see that multiply is working better, at least for right now. But actually what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this bottom layer by dragging it to that new page icon, and I'm going to make this multiply. So basically we're just going to make this layer darker. So multiply. I like the look of that already. You might want to experiment, try different ones. Then I'm going to create a layer mask on the second multiply, because I don't want it too dark in certain areas. So I'm just going to paint over the parts where I don't want it very, very dark. Like my eyes, for example. That's kind of important. I'll maybe even do it on this one too. That kind of looks cheesy. I don't know. I'll do it. I'll just lower the opacity to like 30% and then do it, because then I'm not doing it too much. Now we can just flatten all those together, since I'm satisfied with that. So now, since this is on multiply and this is so bright, what I'm going to do is just try burning in the midtones back in. So let's just try that and see if that works. Yep, there you go. That adds a little bit more depth to the hands, so it looks more like 3D. Maybe get the eyes a little bit more. Dodge the highlights on the eyes on both of them, and then I'm gonna burn just the outside of the eye. My brush size really small, so I need to go over here and click burn. I'll do midtones actually. There we go. See, that adds more depth to the eyes. See, now that is freaky. I can see that there's hair coming over my fingers here, and I don't really want that at all. Duplicate this layer. I'm going to change this duplicate layer to normal. Now I can see that the hair is not blocking, and just get my layer mask out. Press Ctrl I on the layer mask just to get rid of it temporarily. Grab a white brush. Just draw back in my finger. I'm just making just the top part non-see-throughable. There's that right there. And now what I can do just to make those not look so shiny is I can just go in with my burn tool and burn the midtones back in like that. Or I could even burn in the highlights back in, but that usually kind of makes it look cheesy. So there's the before and after. Try to add some more depth into the fingers if I can. So what I'm going to do is grab the burn tool, and I'm going to select my shadows up here, and I'm going to set the exposure to about, okay, maybe about 50. I'm just going to select my layer down here and just burn in some more shadows just to give it a little bit more depth. Okay, yeah, you can see that this is making a nice difference. So here's before and here's after. We just added just a little bit more dimension to the picture, that's all. I'm actually going to grab my pen tool, and I'm just going to make a selection around my fingertips, and then I'm going to delete my head above here, because I think that looks I think it looks better without the head and it's just the fingertips. Go back to the original point and close the path. Now we're going to right click inside of it and click make selection. You can feather it by 0.3, that's fine. So I'm going to right click on it and click select inverse. Control backspace, and there we go. I'm just going to deselect this, and now it looks like that, even cooler. So layer flatten image, we got our picture now, it's done. So now I'm just going to burn out my t-shirt and my neck. There we go. Just burning those midtones over and over and over again. Image canvas size, and just make it a little bit bigger. Made it bigger. Now we can recrop this thing. This. Image crop. So now I'm just going to grab a texture from DeviantArt. Texture stock 160 by Red Wolf 518 stock. I'm just going to drag and drop the picture there. I'm going to switch this to overlay, just like that. Change the blending mode to screen. Now look at that. That's cool. Image black and white. Let's try lighter, and let's just make this really, really dark. Go into brightness and contrast. Let's lower the brightness, and maybe even lower the contrast. I could duplicate this layer. If it's getting too bright at the bottom here, I could duplicate it and make it multiply. So, alright, so then I would flatten those two layers, because then it looks more like I'm coming out of the picture and the texture is not overlaid on my face and it's just in the background. There it is. There's the finished piece. So that is how you make Insomnia.